What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk to you guys about when I decided to start my first African Cichlid Aquarium. I chose Mbuna over Peacocks. Both males and females, colorful. Now thinking about that, I'm actually not sure if that's a pro or a con. I mean, let's face it, this hobby isn't cheap. Now, if you're newer to the channel, you might not even know that this tank exists or that I keep cichlids, since I do have a lot of smaller tanks out in the fish cave with shrimp, live bearers, plecos. You guys have seen it. If not, check out some videos. But yeah, I actually started getting back into the fish keeping hobby with this tank right here. And I planned out an African cichlid tank. So this was pretty much my first project. This 55-gallon, getting these 3 different types of Mbuna. There's yellow labs, cobalt blue, as well as red zebras. So yeah, even though I have out in the fish cave a bunch of smaller tanks and I really love the smaller fish and shrimp, I do have this tank in my living room, and I plan on adding a lot more cichlids, African cichlids, to some of the larger tanks that are going to be out in the fish cave. At least a few more fish left. All right. I think this is another. So definitely subscribe if you haven't for that. And let's get into some of the reasons why I chose to have Mbuna cichlids over the peacocks. I think the first thing that led me to really choose Mbuna over the peacocks was cost. I mean, let's face it, this hobby isn't cheap, and especially when you're starting out, anywhere you can cut costs, I recommend doing it. Average price of some Mbuna, and also just the availability of them compared to peacocks or haps, it was just a no-brainer for me. Not only the purchase price of these guys, which I was actually able to find some of them on like Craigslist used. People had bought them, they were already healthy, a little bit larger even than I found. Not only are they typically cheaper to buy, easier to find, they're also cheaper to feed. Mbunas are vegetarians, so literally a main staple of their diet is green beans, which cost me about half $1 for a can at Walmart. So I do feed some New Life Spectrum, okay, so I do have some nicer foods, but unlike our peacock buddies that are more meat eaters, these guys actually prefer the vegetables, so I can get away with really, really cheap meals. So the second major reason why I ended up choosing to keep Mbuna over peacocks was size and space. These guys don't get as big. They're considered more of a dwarf cichlid. So with this 55-gallon tank and the size of my living room, I mean, I could have a slightly larger tank, but getting started, definitely much better on size, which means you can go with a smaller tank. 55 is probably a minimum, but you can go with a smaller tank and once again save some money because you're not spending as much money on the tank, the filtration, etc., etc. All right, let's talk about the third reason why, and that is the scape. So Mbuna cichlids, which actually Mbuna means rockfish, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what Mbuna means. They mean rockfish, which means that in Lake Malawi in Africa, they are found among the rocks. So you want to go ahead and scape your tank with plenty of areas for them to kind of hide out in. And as you can see, they're kind of all hiding out in the corner over here. But you're able to scape your tank. If you're gonna keep peacocks, those are more of a deeper water fish, okay? So they like some more open area. So you're not gonna be able to put many decorations in. So yeah, that's another reason why I really wanted to kind of, put my own touch to the tank. The fish are cool and they do their thing, they're pretty colors. But, just an wide open tank isn't as fun as being able to kind of create some rock structures. And yeah, I'm no aquascape expert, but I definitely love, playing around with it and, change it up every once in a while. So definitely a benefit in my book. So the fourth reason that really led to me choosing Mbuna cichlids over peacocks is the fact that they're colorful. I think I just mentioned it, but I don't know if you could tell me which one of these guys is a male and which one is a female. I can't. Maybe that'll be a video I'll do in the future. But the point is, both males and females are colorful, and I'm a big fan of these solid, bright colors with some of the accents. So I know peacocks have their color too, but both males and females colorful. That also means if you're looking to breed fish, that you can keep a male and a female pair, and you don't have to worry about kind of a brown, not so pretty fish. But yeah, in my book, once again, another pro. The fifth reason why I chose Mbuna over Peacocks to start my first African Cichlid Aquarium was because of their personality. Now, I can sit here and watch them play with each other, playing the power head, kind of, you know, a lot of it's fighting, let's be honest, but they're very active. They're always moving around. They're always activity, all levels of the tank. I'm talking about, you know, down low, under the rocks, all the sides. They're just kind of always everywhere, always swimming about. They don't just cruise back and forth. I got one yellow lab that sits in the corner and kind of, you know, does a dance over there. You know, breeding behavior you'll notice, but they're really, really enjoyable to watch. Seeing as how they're smaller, you know, the movement you get to see. Obviously with Peacocks or Mbuna, you want to overstock your aquarium and overfiltrate. But seeing as how you have a more quantity, it's almost like that schooling effect you'd get in a smaller fish, like a rasbora or a tetra of some sort, okay? But these guys get to like 4, 5, 6 inches, and they're not necessarily schooling, but they're actively moving around like a schooling fish. And, you know, I'll be sitting on the couch sometimes watching TV with the wife and find myself kind of, you know, fixated on the aquarium. So now thinking about that, I'm actually not sure if that's a pro or a con, but either way, I enjoy them. They got a lot of personality, and those are the reasons why I chose to keep Mbuna cichlids over Peacocks. If you haven't already, guys, consider hitting that subscribe button. Like this video if you learned something or enjoyed it, and as always, stay positive, stay passionate.